And now, Gimmick Infringement.
Welcome, everybody, to the Gimmick Infringement Podcast. I am Brad Winchester, and with me, as always, is my tag team partner, Tyler McDowell Blanken. And Tyler, it is a very, very small world after all. How you doing today?
I'm blessed. I'm nervous about regarding what you're about to say, but we just had a very, very spicy production meeting. Some information was divulged to me that I was not prepared for, but I know we're going to address it on air, so Brad, I'm going to kick it back to you. Tucson, small city. Well, hold on. Let's rewind. 1 million people, residents.
1 million people.
Plus.
Yes.
But we have a story that reminds us Tucson is actually very much a small town in many ways.
Yes. So Freya had her very first performance of anything really ever. Like, she's never really done a performance outside of like a preschool thing or the elementary school gimmick, those kinds of things. She did a dance show tonight, and she never did beginning ballet or like the little learner ballet. Went right into the next step up, whatever that is. I can't remember what they call it. And was 2 months behind when she joined, and still did the show tonight and did a great job. Yeah, absolutely did. Almost 2 months. I think it was like a month or two. Considering that, I thought she did such a good job. And just in general, she did a great job. She looks like she was having so much fun up there. I'm so excited to get the video. Really, really cool. But we had some tech issues. And I say we, not working at the high school, but the other high school in our district, Mountain View High School. Shout out to Mountain View High School. Shout out to Mr. David Romero for running facilities, and shout out to May and Isis, the kids running tech and doing all the crew jobs, because their teacher retired and they still had a show to do. So they called these kids in to do some work. Pretty remarkable stuff. But also the dance folks had their crew, and they had everything set up how they wanted to run sound and lights. And Tyler, one of the people on that crew, one of the coaches, one of the teachers there, was running the lights. And I got to meet this person during one of the intermissions between the pre-show competition stuff and the actual show that Freya was involved in. I went upstairs, tried to fix some comms issues, and lo and behold, I met this lovely woman who turns out to be your ex. You heard it here first. I'm so discombobulated by this. I was like, no, it's this person. And you're like, do you mean this? And I was like, yeah, that's it. That's the one. I was wrong. You're like, that's my ex's name. What? Hold up.
It's a small city.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I was taking it back. You were taking it back.
I was taking it back. I had a whole plan. Usually I think about what I want to say during the intro. Okay, we're going to talk pro wrestling, pop culture. Well, of course, we're going to talk Money in the Bank, Mission Impossible Jones. But once this happened during our production meeting, completely flustered, one-track mind. Brad, this is, I would imagine our viewers, those in cities like Tucson, especially those who are in Tucson, I would imagine we have viewers and listeners who are maybe reflecting on similar situations where, I don't know if it was exactly an X situation, but a case where, okay, you live in a town that may feel big at times, but then you have conversations like the one you and I are having, and it's a reminder, Tucson, everybody, you're what is it? You're 6 degrees removed from just about any and everyone in Tucson in the city. You met the ex, positive experience.
Wild.
Shout out to the ex, so much love and admiration. They're also involved in education. So it's actually, it shouldn't be as surprising to me. It was probably inevitable at some point this was going to happen, because not only do you both live in Tucson, but you're in the same system. You now have an amazing daughter who is involved with this dance community, which I learned about very well. I've been to Freya's dance practice facility. I know all
more than I have.
I've been there more than Brad has. We're not going to divulge.
Actively told me to stay away. She's like, there is not a lot of room, and you are going to hate it in there. Just don't go. She's like, just don't go. It's not worth your like, if she's in the small rooms you can't see in there, you're just sort of waiting anyway.
Sure.
And she knows when I'm around a lot of people and I feel like I can't leave, I freak out a little bit. So she's like, just don't go. And I'm like, I'm happy to go for her.
Yeah.
Like, it's for her. And then she told me about it. I was like, it is for her that you go. And I think you've made the right decision so that I don't end up in a fight or saying
As,
something bad.
as long as Dad shows up for the performance, which
All
he
the time.
did, and Freya killed it. Shout out Freya. That's what matters. Now, with regard to practices, Dad can bypass that. Mom's got Freya covered.
Tyler, the small world thing also happened to me after I had a doctor appointment early in the week. Really, really funny. This is the lady. I think I told you about the Migranol. Did I tell you about her?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. This sounds very familiar.
This was circa 2022 when this woman with a pretty heavy, I'm just going to say Eastern European accent. I'm not going to land the country, but it sounded Russian, Ukrainian, so somewhere in that space. It didn't say Migranol. She said Migranol with a very thick accent. When I tell you, I had a flashback because it was on telehealth. This is when I was waiting 50 minutes past my appointment time. The class had started. Like my mental and social health kids were in the room with me. And I was like, I've waited this long. I am not hanging up. You guys
saw it through.
Yeah, I put it on the screen. I made sure everybody could see it. I was like, you're going to watch my neurology appointment. And if anybody comes in and goes like, how are you doing this during work? I'm going to go, mental health, baby. That's what's happening right here.
Oh.
Literally my mental health appointment.
And
but it's like my brain stuff.
If Principal K walks in.
Yeah, at that time, I think we might have been in a we don't know who's running the place space. Because I think
use that to your benefit. Nice.
I think Mandel might have left around that time. And
you did. You did give me the year. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
So it might have been the interim year.
For sure.
I can't remember.
Respect. You've been there a long time. They know you.
I've been here for forever. But it was like, no, I'm not hanging up. And it was fine. That way, if I ask questions, they can hear it. We can talk about it. It was like, teachable moments.
There you go.
Every head in that room, like they were looking at the screen. I didn't unlock eyes from the camera, but every head in the room when she said that name went like everybody in that room was convinced she just hard R'd a medication. Like every head in that room.
Damn.
I've heard of that medication before, so I knew it was happening. I was totally floored by this. The year, or actually probably longer than that, before that, I had a kid in that class. And I was leaving this appointment thinking about this moment in 2022. And I was going to pick up coffee at Dutch Bros. And it was the Dutch Bros over in Oro Valley. So Oracle Road up by Say's Kitchen and a couple of other places.
A bougie Dutch Bros.
Yes. Upscale, you might say.
Okay.
Just the area though, not the drive-through. Very small drive-through.
Yeah, I was gonna say drive-throughs or drive-throughs, just the area, the surrounding areas a little bit.
Well, I did the order ahead gimmick because then I could just drive there, go to the window and get it. Because I had a kind of a crazy order, sugar-free everything, but I wanted to taste not like mud. So I got there, parked, walked up to the window, and one of my former students was there, standing at the window, greeting me with my beverage. It was like, hey, and then we caught up. It was really cool. But my thought on the way there was, there's no chance in hell I'm ever going to see anybody I know that's Dutch Bros. I'm 17 miles away from the high school, which in city miles, that may as well be on the moon. So I was just like, there's no chance.
Tucson,
man.
Phoenix is so much different. Only 2 hours apart, but I think Phoenix, you have more opportunity to kind of get away and avoid some of those 6 degrees of separation. But Tucson, dare I say, a reason why we love the old Pueblo R4 is for stories just like this, man. I can't believe, dog, you met the ex, and I could have prepared for this if I just did more active listening and sort of did the Charlie Day, the Charlie Day gif of putting the dots together, but I didn't. And luckily, it makes for content, I should say, for our return episode here on GI. We back.
It's amazing, and there's more about showbiz that I didn't fill you in yet. Shout out to Amy Evans, and her both of her daughters performing tonight in different stages of development. One of them was an adorable little lion in a Lion King thing, and it was, oh my God, so it was cute. Everybody was super excited about it. Only a couple of people cried and ran off the court or off the stage. I was going to say off the court. I don't know why I said that, but I guess it's because, Tyler, the basketball playoffs are here. and the action is heating up on Prize Picks, the best place to cash in on your favorite sports. I sound really bummed right now. I need to get the energy out. Why am I cash in on the?
I forgot the basketball playoffs were still happening.
I
the season ended when the Suns were eliminated.
Yes, you just tasered me. My brain is numb now. Our condolences to Mike Steph. Cash in on the basketball playoffs, not with the Knicks, with Prize Picks. Don't miss your last chance to add your favorite players from the court to your Prize Picks lineup, whether it's points, rebounds, assists. Take your pick of more or less for your shot to win up to 2,000 times your cash today. Turn your playoff hot takes into tickets to basketball's championship series, hopefully soon. Starting with the play-in round, every lineup you make on Prize Picks will enter you in the Takes Two ticket sweepstakes, which could get you and a +1 VIP a trip to the ship. Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. Join millions of users and sign up today. Don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the ice in your Prize Picks lineup. Whether it's goals, points, or hits, take your pick more or less for your shot to win up to 2,000 times your cash today. Every Tuesday, Prize Picks will discount several projections on the board, usually by 15% to 25%. Flex Friday, make sure you opt in and tap the checkbox in your lineup builder to be eligible for the projected play. Choose squares from any game on the board. If your lineup does not win, you get your net losses back and promo funds up to your promo limit as soon as the lineup settles. This really should be a promo of the week sponsor. Gimmick Infringement is rocking with Prize Picks, and you should too. Prize Picks, run your game. And I almost had a promo today, but I got it out of my system before we started. I wanted to bring up Amy, full circle here, but I wanted to greet our friends at Prize Picks and get our read in. I had the funniest text exchange with Amy, like maybe 2 months ago, a month ago, something like that, where it was, hey, is Freya in ballet class with Harper? And it was like, yes, Freya just came back and went, Harper's in my ballet class. And it was totally different than the story that I got. It was Freya going, are you Harper from Facebook? They have like the Facebook Messenger kids gimmick. They've been talking to each other for like a year.
Thing?
That's a thing. Yes.
I didn't know that.
That way
Facebook Messenger for kids.
So it's Facebook Messenger, but kids can have an account set up by their parents. That way they can monitor everything that happens on there, and they have to approve friends and that stuff. So they've been sending like goofy videos and emojis and text and stuff. Yes, for the better part of a year. They were in a dance class with each other for a month before they realized that they were in each other's dance class.
It'd be like that crazy. Sometimes. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a small world Tucson stuff.
It is. That's the thread. That could be a whole separate episode.
Yes. We're
gonna spare our audience for this episode. We will in short order get to pro wrestling and pop culture talk. But Brad, I'm telling you, it's a thing, particularly in Tucson. It's a charming part of the city that I miss. And I'm so grateful the universe was looking out for us. And I happened to ask you before we hopped on, wait, you gave me a name, but do you mean this other person?
Yeah, I butchered the name. Yeah,
I know well. And
I only got
shout out to all those people, all great people.
That's awesome. Let's get into it then. Let's start with WWE.
Okay, so we take 1 week off. And
oh my goodness.
So much happens, Brad.
Yeah.
A lot has changed since I last saw you. However, one thing has not.
And Tyler, before you say it, because I need to do some filibustering here, I know what you're going to say. Wait.
Oh my gosh. Sorry.
You stepped on my moment.
Yeah, I got excited. Yes, sir. The two most important words on Gimmick Infringement still intact. Steph Watch.
We took 2 weeks off. We're chalking this up to rust. Is what it is.
Yeah,
you just drop kicked that microphone.
Yeah, I really kind of
embrace the mess.
Yeah. Okay, so lots changed. A lot has stayed the same. We have to begin by addressing Steph Watch. Stephanie Vaquer retained her NXT Women's Championship against Jordynne Grace at Battleground, only to drop the title to JC Jane on NXT TV 48 hours later. She is heading to the Raw brand officially. So I have a few notes here, a preamble, if you will. Then I'm going to get to my actual question. So we have Steph Watch number 1, as we should. Next, Brad, NXT versus AAA Worlds Collide is Saturday afternoon. Money in the Bank Los Angeles is later that evening. I need to know your ladder match picks, by the way. As of this recording, we're still waiting for the one more qualifier for the men's, one more qualifier for the women's. But don't let me forget, I need your picks. This is true. Final 2 notes. Mariah May is rumored to be on her way to WWE. We shall see. And it is contract expiration season. Just earlier today, we're recording on a Sunday. Earlier today, R-Truth and Carlito put out messages on social media that their time with WWE, respectively, it's wrapping up. Their contracts are not being renewed. The former, in particular, really stirred conversation online because R-Truth has been such a staple of WWE and been such a unique character on their programming for years upon years that fans, rightfully so, feel a way about him, perhaps not getting the flowers we hoped he would on his way out. If, in fact, he's not going to be a WWE lifer. And shout out to Carlito as well. Really, really awesome return for him. Okay, Brad, preamble now completed. There's a lot. I'm taking the easy way out. Hopefully not a cop out, but I'm choosing the rookie level difficulty option on this one. WWE centric. What's on your mind first? And if I may borrow the words, I was going to say the roads, the words from someone who is competing at Money in the Bank this weekend. What do you want to talk about?
This is kind of close to my question, but not close enough. I guess I'll keep it in there. I first of all, depends on who the TBD is for the women's match. If it's, man, I don't know who wins the women's match. I hope it's Naomi. I'm going to go Naomi, unless Mariah May is the TBD.
Wow. You don't think she goes to NXT first? JC Jane is fixing to lose that title to Mariah?
She shouldn't.
She doesn't need it.
No, she should not go there. But that also seems like a good logical spot for Stephanie Vaquer to show up.
Yes. Talk about it.
Yeah. Or somebody else to come back. But I don't know that they put her. Do you think they put Stephanie in there and Worlds Collide? That doesn't seem.
I do actually.
Are they? But they're not even remotely close in proximity, are they?
They are. Yeah. So Worlds Collide will be at the Kia Forum.
Oh, that's right.
LA.
It's the double LA event, right?
That's LA proper.
Yeah.
And the Money in the Bank will be at,
that's right. That's right.
Is it going to be at Crypto or where the Clippers play? It's one of the two.
I keep getting it mixed up because AEW is doing the Arena Mexico stuff. Yeah. And I was like, I was thinking it was happening there.
Yeah. Right.
So
it's got to be Steph and Mariah as that last one, no?
It has to be, unless we're getting a returning somebody.
And likely that could be the winner.
Yeah.
In either of those two cases.
Yes. I think it would make more sense for Stephanie to win it than like Mariah to win it, but I think Mariah will change stuff up. I don't know what for. The other thing is the Worlds Collide event. We have NXT superstar Chad Gable wrestling in it. And I don't really understand it. We also have a bunch of other people that are on the main roster wrestling in it. They just called up Stephanie Vaquer, and I guess she's going in there as Team NXT for some reason.
Yeah, she's teaming with Lola Vice. And they totally pump fake me, Brad. I thought we were going to get eventually a Lola Vice, Stephanie Vaquer title program. And I think Mike and I were talking about this on air on a most recent episode. I thought, okay, well, maybe I had a feeling Jordynne Grace was not going to be the one to dethrone Steph, but I thought, okay, maybe there's a world in which Lola is going to be that next one to hold the top prize. And to my surprise, that's not happening. Maybe Lola dethrones JC Jane, but to your point, as of Worlds Collide, Lola and Steph are teaming. And I would imagine they're going to successfully team together and beat the AAA team. Forgive me for not knowing the two women on the AAA side, but I think that has to be a showcase match for Steph and Lola to get the dub on.
Yes.
Because Vikingo is for sure beating Chad Gable.
Yes.
In the main event. And then the rest of the card, I'm not as sure. I don't think Ethan Page is necessarily going to lose the North American title after just winning it also on NXT. But I had my hope
first NXT superstar Ray Phoenix.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Talk your talk.
This is an ROH AEW level of booking.
Yes. why does this rage that I'm feeling feel familiar? It's because this is what we
It's
all seem to
exactly.
be
I'm
on
just like, this is so
on
stupid. Why are you making
AEW.
this an NXT event and
Yeah.
then not having your NXT talent be all over this card? You
Hasn't the
have them in
build been a
places, but
letdown
like,
as well? It seemed like when this was announced, you and I were so hyped, and I think in part it's because you and I have just been really busy, and I learned that you met my ex, and now I can't stop thinking about that. But also, when this event was announced, I think around WrestleMania weekend, our hopes were just astronomical. We thought, oh man, this is
yeah,
probably going to be the highlight of that weekend, and it still very well might be. But the build to it, in my view, has really been lacking. It just seems like WWE has so much going on. They're promoting so many different events
yeah,
that Worlds Collide, unfortunately,
yeah.
and they still have a week to make things happen here. But it seems like it's been a bit of an afterthought with everything that's going on. Money in the Bank, the announcement of Evolution 2, Saturday night's main event that same weekend, and the contracts expiring. And okay, I guess Goldberg's going to come back and fight Gunther, and there's so much going on in the WWE universe that unfortunately to me this show has not yielded the, I'll use that word again, the hype that I hoped it would.
So I know that the final spot for the ladder match is to be determined between Ivy Nile, Liv Morgan, and Stephanie Vaquer.
Yes, that's right.
I'm
Let's go
sure it's,
Steph.
I mean, it's going to be Steph, but um, I wouldn't hate it if it was Liv. Get Liv on the card too. That would be nice. Um, and the other one is AJ, CM Punk, and El Grande Americano. Come on, what are we doing? That's not happening. AJ and CM Punk will be fun. I hope.
Who wins
Oh, it's CM Punk
for sure?
for sure.
Does he get that Money in the Bank briefcase?
I doubt it, but they want him in the. They obviously they're going to want to have him in that match. Like you want one of your biggest stars there. AJ Styles does not have the star power of CM Punk, even though AJ Styles is, in terms of a wrestler, as good as anybody who's ever walked the earth.
And one of the most important wrestlers of our time.
Yes. And
Bar
I'm
none.
not saying that CM Punk's bad at wrestling. That'd be crazy talk. But I just CM Punk just carries that like charisma and that cachet with him that
It's different.
on the poster it's just, oh, CM Punk's going to be there, not
Yeah.
oh, see AJ Styles is going to be there. No shade.
Not
But
at all.
just like
CM Punk is going to pop up at
Yeah.
Netflix. That big party they had over the weekend.
Yeah.
Lots of WWE stars were there. Some AEW stars were there.
People
CM Punk
outside of
for sure.
wrestling know CM Punk,
They do.
and I don't
Yeah.
know that's people outside of wrestling know AJ Styles. I think that's the difference.
People tune in just to see CM Punk all these years later.
Or they say they will, but then don't.
Facts. Okay, let me ask you while we're on Money in the Bank.
That was just for me.
Is Seth?
People are
I'm glad
probably
you
confused
popped
right now.
yourself. We have to. We're back. Listen, it's what we do. Is Seth Rollins too obvious of a choice to be the winner on the men's side?
Andrade is there to be like the spot monkey, right? Like he's going to
Andrade's not
crazy.
winning. Andrade's not winning that.
He's going to murder someone. He's getting murdered on a ladder because of Andrade.
Yeah, I hope we're going to get some cool.
But he's also going to auto murder himself by doing the murdering onto a ladder. He'll take somebody out through a ladder and be dead on the floor while somebody climbs and wins the briefcase. That's usually how that goes. LA Knight, no shot.
Has LA Knight's time passed?
Yeah, because they didn't really do anything good with him.
To be that guy.
They had him do the U.S. title stuff, but then they booked him against just nonsense. It just wasn't a good run. He's better chasing anyway.
I fear you're right. I just remember how hot he was. Particularly, you remember when he had that match against Roman Reigns?
When he interrupted Roman's entrance?
Yes. And there was that. Do you remember he wore the sunglasses in the ring and you could see the reflection of Roman looking at him? Like
one of the coolest shots ever.
Yes. Great shot. And that must have been 2022, 2023.
It had to be 23.
I want to say
maybe early 24.
We had no belief that he was going to win that match, but it did not feel off for me. As a viewer, it did not feel off to see him challenging for the top prize against undoubtedly the top guy in the company. Just seems like now he's really fallen back a notch or two. And I don't know. I believe in what he can do in the ring and as a character. Certainly he's selling merch off the shelves. I just, if there was going to be a way to reheat LA Knight, I could see it being through getting that Money in the Bank briefcase. But I worry that time for LA has come and gone, sadly.
Yeah, well, and what would you? I guess let me pose this question to you. It's not my question, but I'll give you that in a second. What would you rather have? Would you rather have LA Knight or Ricky Saints? Because in terms of promo style stuff, you're going to get something very similar from both of them, right?
Facts.
Like the guy that you can work around for the next 20 years, 15 years, or the guy that's my age, that's kind of at the tail end, that broke
A
through
youngster.
late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If WrestleMania was still in New Orleans, that also happened since we've been gone. They took it
Yes.
away from New
Oh my
Orleans.
goodness. So much stuff has
If,
happened.
if we still had Mania 2026 in New Orleans, I'd say, oh, maybe Ricky somehow finds his way and leaves New Orleans
It's
with
somebody with a Rochambeau, and
yes,
that's
yeah,
the place to do it, right? Like that's
yeah,
the place. Yeah.
yeah. But since that was taken away from us and thus taken away from Mr. Saints,
Without the
I
ruckus, without the ruckus theme, I
it's
mean,
different. It's
yeah,
different.
it's not the
The
same.
Revolution's still televised. I, I love both of those guys. At
Me
this point,
too.
I would say Ricky Saints is more likely, but he's also going to be a very interesting case of in terms of these NXT call ups. Okay, Steph, Jordan Grace heading to SmackDown, and it appears reportedly Ricky Saints. I don't know if it's been confirmed like it has for Steph, but reportedly Ricky Saints, as you said, Brad, is likely heading to the main roster. I- I'm really eager to see how he's booked once he gets there. Is it a case where it's going to be, let's say, like an Andrade, where for the next year you're kind of toiling in the mid card? Maybe you have some title opportunities, but it's a relatively forgettable year.
Yeah.
Or does he just catch fire? Maybe like an LA Knight eventually when LA Knight was on the main roster, caught fire, and then you just became undeniable and a huge fan favorite. I hope it's going to be the latter. If you're giving me these two options, I'm going to pick Ricky Saints. But if we're also going to include Seth Rollins in this conversation, I think Seth Rollins is my favorite. But I
Yeah.
also, is that what they want me to think? Is that too obvious the play? You remember when Damian Priest won that Money in the Bank
He's
briefcase,
got,
and he was what, maybe the third or fourth most likely guy in that
but,
match to leave
but,
with it?
but for Seth, it's a ladder match has no rules, right? No
Right.
DQ.
Presumably, yeah. He could
So
get
all he has to
Bronson
do is,
and Braun in
yeah,
there.
just bring the big guys out and
Yeah.
game over. Have him
Yeah.
stand around the ladder and just keep him away from the ladder while he climbs up.
Right. And
Like that
depending
the
on,
match should be over in 3 seconds.
I don't know if they've announced this, but again, we're recording on Sunday. Depending on the layout of the card, can this be the case where we see a cash in on the women's or men's side on that same night?
I mean, maybe that'd be a great way to get it off of Cena in a way that would be really dumb.
How's the Cena run treating you?
That's terrible. It's so bad. Like I had such high hopes for this, but it's just been kind of like, huh? All right, we got the Randy match, which was rough to watch as a viewer. I was bored. And I love both of those guys. And then we got him fighting R-Truth, which turned out to be his like retirement match from WWE. Um, tough to be like ended by your childhood idol like that. And then you have Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes. So if anybody cashes in, it's going to be on Jey. They're not going to cash in on Cena, right? Like that's just not going to be a thing because everybody that's going to be in that ladder match, the only person in there that I can see it happening with is maybe Seth. But did they do that? Is that a way to turn Cena? So we get like hero Cena run at the end? What's the end goal for that? Win again?
Mhm.
Like I don't.
I wonder how quickly WWE is willing to pivot. Maybe there is still a lot of hope that uh, I would say all signs point to Cena turning back to being a good guy by the end of the calendar year when he's ready to officially
Sure.
leave the.
Yeah,
I
I
was
think
going to
so
say
too.
leave the jorts in the ring, but that's not what I mean. Leave the leave the
Be a hell of a thing to see. Just Peacemaker style, standing there in
yeah,
tidy whities.
leave the sneakers in the
Yeah,
ring.
yeah.
He's got a good guy by that time. I just don't know if WWE is willing to pivot this soon.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure how well this heel character has been working for folks because for you and I, it's not been good. And I would imagine there are still plans with this evil Cena
Mhm.
before we get to him being that hero again. I would imagine Travis Scott is going to pop up. Who knows if we're ever going to see The Rock during this Cena run?
Yeah,
But it seems
it's
like
so weird.
there had to have been more plans than potentially him getting cashed in on this weekend, and then that summer of Cena we expected null and void. I still happen to think we're getting Cena versus Punk at SummerSlam in Jersey. To me, that's the move, and very likely that's when Cena could end up dropping it.
I think The Rock was in an interview, or somebody was in an interview recently going like, "Oh, they're stupid. They're like, plans change and we can't do stuff like that." It's like, then why'd you do it? Why'd you set it up? This thing has been a setup forever, and you had all the opportunity in the world to be like, this is the secret conversation me and Cody had.
Yeah.
This is how Cena. We don't even know why Cena turned.
Yeah.
Wait, I mean, we do based on what he said, but he's never once mentioned The Rock and how he's aligned with The Rock. You can't have what is Travis Scott doing here? What was that even for? What does he get out of all of this? He's got a championship belt, and he's just, I
can't
don't
believe this is
understand
happening. I can't believe
any of it.
It's unbelievable.
We talk about that dumb gold Fabergé egg thing from Red Notice. Like this,
I think Mike Steph was at that show actually.
This is worse.
Survivor Series in Brooklyn.
This is way more egregious than that. That was just a prop to have a prop to promote a movie. This is just bad in general. And I don't understand how you could screw this up like this.
Right.
Like if it's a schedule conflict thing, like how far in advance is this? Like, oh shoot, sorry, in a week I forgot I have this movie that I got cast in last year. What? Where are you? Where is this? Like, I'm going to be super involved this year stuff. What is happening?
It's curious. And as a John Cena fan, okay, this is going to be a stretch. Check this out. I'm thinking of two people on their legacies these days: John Cena and Joe Biden. I don't know if you heard about that Original Sin book that Jake Tapper from CNN co-wrote about. The title is Original Sin, how I think Joe Biden and the Democrats, Joe Biden was going to run again, and it proved to be a terrible blah, blah, blah. And it was a cover up and this, that, and the other. And so I think that's going to taint Joe Biden's legacy for a while. Long term, I don't know. Maybe we'll remember the good he did and kind of go from there. But in the meantime, awful legacy, total heel turn with how all of this went down. And I haven't read the book, but I've been following the headlines, Brad. And with John Cena, much less important, no implication on the country's direction. But for this last Cena run, I just hope that whatever the next 6 months are going to be, that doesn't taint, in my view, all the positive that he did for the company. And obviously he did, the Make-A-Wish, and I know it's outside of the ring, but I want to remember his time as a wrestler fondly. And I just hope that by December, by the time you and I are having this conversation again 6 months from now, we can just really be in a more positive place with his character. Because like you said, you remember when he made that scowl at Cody, and it was all over the timeline. We were so hopeful. We thought, oh, this is great. I didn't think we were going to get a Cena heel turn. And fast forward now, I would just rather have the good guy Cena back. And yeah, it's predictable. It's formulaic. But I had a better time with that and fans singing the song than whatever this is that we're getting.
He's not even roasting people. He's just there going, I am the downtrodden, and well, I don't care.
Yeah. This is the Original Sin number 2. These are all lies. We've been riding with you, John. We've been singing your song. We've been buying your merch. We didn't forget about you. We did not appreciate you. We've been riding for you for the Cena sucks chant. Yeah, that was a thing years ago, but for the past 2+ years, it's been appreciation. It's been flowers because we knew the end was coming. And so now we just want something to invest in. But as of late, man, it's just since Mania, even since the lead to Mania to now, it's just been so short of what my expectations were.
Now my turn to hit the microphone. Boom. Tyler, real quick, since I'm not going to go through my whole spiel here, keep it kind of short. Do you think this is TKO's influence? Because I feel like the booking here is super cold. The way that they're acquiring talent without like a super clear plan of where it's going to go and releasing. It just feels like Vince style. If you hire everybody, nobody else can work anywhere else. And I know Ricochet brought it up, and I can't remember who it was about, but it was like, oh, they were unhappy because they got paid and they got to go in the roster, but they weren't working and they were unhappy. Sounds selfish to me. And I thought that was great that he tweeted that out or replied to a tweet that Ricochet did. Because I get it. Like you want to feel fulfilled, not just have a paycheck, but feel fulfilled. I don't know if they keep loading up the roster with all this like big talent, if they're going to be able to fulfill all of that. Same way with AEW, same thing. But I just I thought, well, I wonder if this is a TKO influence thing now that they're more embedded and have a better understanding of the business, because it's been what, a year and a half or something since the actual acquisition. Does that sound right?
That sounds right.
Less than that? I don't even know. Meanwhile, that lawsuit's still happening, the Grant lawsuit. Like there's so much stuff in the wind and in the air that I don't, and while Vince is starting a new media company, which also happened while we were gone, 14 and I, which I don't know, man. I was going to leave it alone.
It's gross. Yeah. I want to blame anything I don't like at WWE. I for sure want to blame on TKO, because I know we have this merger between UFC and WWE on the business side, but I don't rock with UFC for a variety of reasons. If people
in
do,
AAA now, in AAA, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And if people do, and we know people in our lives who are super MMA heads and really get down with UFC, don't necessarily agree with Dana White and other folks, but just really love themselves some MMA. There's been times in my life where I wanted to get into the sport. Brad, I didn't know you back then, but I had a whole collection of Affliction shirts back in the day.
Wow.
This was before the X. I did not have a girlfriend back then, which I know was a total shocker to anyone hearing this. Me, 140 pounds soaking wet with Affliction tees. It was an era that I have since grown from. But
then you dropped that and met your ex.
Yeah.
Yes, very good.
Yeah. Drop the Affliction tees. It was okay. It was popular though for a minute now. Do you remember that? You probably didn't have an Affliction phase. That's beneath you, but it was not beneath me at that time.
I think it was behind me. It was probably in my 20s.
It was
when we were doing that. Yeah.
Okay. It was
my late 20s. I was probably married.
Yeah.
At the time that.
Yeah, you had a partner. Yeah. That most people.
Well, how old were you when you wore this?
This was high school. 16, 17.
Add 10 years. That's where I was.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. There you go.
How we got here. I want to blame anything I don't like in WWE on TKO, just because it feels slimy to me, and it feels like
it's gross.
The suits and profits over people, and I get it. You have to look out for your shareholders, but to your point, Brad, then we see an R-Truth, a Carlito, and this is coming just weeks after you and I dedicated part of our episode to discussing the other release talent, many of whom were in NXT, and many also in WWE proper, who we really enjoy and just felt like, oh man, we wish you could have seen more from their run. So I get it. It's profits, it's maximizing shareholder value. But yeah, I for sure put it on where we're at with TKO. And, when you're a publicly traded company, that just comes with some extra responsibilities, baggage. It leads to, I think, situations like this. And to your point, yeah, in terms of the creative, I would imagine whether it's The Rock or Ari Emanuel or Nick Khan, having his hands involved in a lot. Cena is good for business. I may not like the current storyline, but I think this may have also happened while we were gone. Apparently that Saturday night's main event, that most recent one, Cena versus R-Truth on the card, that was one of, if not the most profitable Saturday night's main event. So again, a case where I'm just a 30-something with a podcast who no longer has an Affliction collection. What do I know? Because there are people dropping hundreds of dollars to go to these shows. And then I just want to do this because it pops me. Then we get the announcement during the live show, record gate. And then yes. I avoided paying my student loans this month because I got my ticket to be in the building for this terrible championship storyline that we had high hopes for. Yeah. So it's just I put it up. I put it on TKO's doorstep for sure. But that's just me, and I recognize I have some bias in that. How about you?
It's so funny.
We're probably gonna get it this weekend as well. Money in the Bank, record gate. Yes.
I just feel like there was a
tag team match. No men's title on the line, but tag team match. Yes.
There's a Star Wars reference in here. when I think it was episode 3, where Natalie Portman's character, Queen elect, former queen, I don't know what her title is, Amidala, says, and that's how, paraphrasing here, but basically that's how democracy dies, with thunderous applause. And all I could think is like, that's how my paycheck dies, with thunderous applause. Every time that clip pops into my head and I just replace a word, whenever they stand up and applaud that we spent more money than anybody ever, like suckers. I just want them to go like, there's only 8,000 people here, and we just had the largest gate we've ever had. It's like, okay, $300,000
we did it. By the way, my official predictions, I want to go Steph. I really do. Forgive me, everyone. I know this is blasphemous. I'm going Seth Rollins. I would no. Okay, I talked myself out of this live on air. I was going to go Roxanne Perez because I think we're getting some forward momentum with her on the main roster now. But I think it's got to be Steph Vaquer. Seth Rollins is my predicted winner, and I'm going to go Steph Vaquer on the women's side. Lyra versus Becky should also be fun. I think Becky's going to take home that IC title in that rematch. I
can also see, like, I want Naomi to win. I want her back.
I love that. I would love for Naomi to get the dub. She's been amazing as a heel. Opposite of John Cena.
So if Liv pulls off the upset and gets into that match, which maybe that's not an upset, she's a former champion, she's really good. That would give the out to somebody else to win, as Roxanne and Liv have it out in the ring.
Yes.
Because that would be the most interesting in-ring storyline going into it, I think.
If Liv gets, for sure.
Yeah, and then Julia's there, but Julia and Roxanne, that obviously.
Yeah, I don't think it's Julia's moment. Naomi's a great shout by you. That may actually be the move, Brad.
I hope so. I really, really hope so, because I think that would make that really interesting. Mm-hmm. Her run in, if the lights are out, glowing all up, and then winning as a heel, a detestable person or something, would be amazing.
Yeah.
But I never picked the men's match. I'm going to go with you and say Seth, and if it's not Seth, it's Solo. Maybe this is how he gets it.
Wow.
Maybe that's how he wins.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
Yeah. Okay. Tyler, we got to move on. We got to keep this thing rolling. We've talked dance. I saw more kip ups today than I've ever seen in my entire life.
Word. Really?
At least 200. As part of the dance routine, people doing kip ups, and I'm over here like, I tried doing one last summer, and I can tell you what happened. I stomped the floor as hard as I possibly could, and my head barely left the ground trying to kip up. I just kind of went slap, like with my feet trying to get off the ground. It was ugly. It was really ugly. Tonight's were not. They were incredible. It was a last night and tonight, I should say. The girls crushed it. Some of the guys were also involved in this. They crushed it as well. Everybody crushed it. It was a great viewing experience, but we have other viewing experiences on this here podcast. Tyler, it's time. You're going to give us a little GI at the movies, Mission Impossible. Oh, I'm so excited. Play the music.
And now it's time for GI at the movies.
I wonder how many kip ups Tom Cruise can do
successively.
Yeah.
Probably 4, unless he's on an airplane, then 5 at least.
Yeah. That's a great answer. Brad, as you so perfectly laid out for me here, I have seen a movie. I did this while we were on our brief sabbatical. I went to see Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Of course, this is starring Tom Cruise. He is playing Ethan Hunt. He must once again save the world. This time, he has to do a lot of things in this movie, but the most relevant of which is to go down to this submarine that's been submerged in this body of water. This submarine has been there for years upon years, and he has to go down to get this key to fight off this evil force that's trying to take down the country. There's the potential of nuclear warfare. There are some deaths in this movie. I want to say this. Overall, this movie was a win for me. I saw it at the IMAX. I have upgraded my life and have seen 2 IMAX movies successfully.
Successively?
successfully,
Okay. Hey.
and successfully. Just
And
like
yes,
just
so
like
you
my
did pull it off, my friend.
just
yes.
like my GI at the movies here, my recap. I've seen 2 movies in a row, 2 IMAX movies. I'm very proud of myself, Brad Winchester. And by the way, why doesn't IMAX? I don't know about your local AMC. Mine doesn't have the recliner seats in IMAX.
No,
There's not enough room.
IMAX never does that.
What
They
are we
just
doing?
herd people in there like
What are we-
like cattle. Yeah.
So we get the premiere viewing experience, but I can't put my feet up.
Nope.
Okay, I have issue with that.
Yeah.
Overall, I have some issues with this movie. It was a win. I did enjoy it in part because I was in IMAX. If I were to see this at home, I don't know that I would have enjoyed it as much, Brad. I don't know how you're going to feel about this movie. We got to talk about the runtime. Tom
3 hours,
Cruise.
yeah.
Tom, this movie's too damn long, homie. It's nearly 3 hours. You could have. I know this is like my gimmick. Every 3 movies that I review, I have to bring this up. It just doesn't need. I don't need to see a movie for 3 hours. We could have easily shaved off 25 to 30 minutes of this film, and I don't think we would have missed anything. But the cast is stellar. You'll see a lot of familiar faces from Mission Impossible lore, even including the last Mission Impossible that came out. So we got Ving Rhames, we got Simon Pegg, we got Palm Clementev, we got Angela Bassett, who I was gonna say I really enjoy, but I enjoy her in everything that she does.
Yeah.
So the movie is really solid. There are some scenes, Brad, that give you that summer blockbuster feel that Mission Impossible is so known for. Particularly, I won't spoil anything, but particularly the last big action scene. It's high in the air. It involves some just crazy aerial stunts. And it's a reminder that Tom Cruise is really one of one. Say what you will about the guy, but to me, he feels like sort of that last action star of a certain time period. Obviously, he's big on doing his own stunts. I think Ethan Hunt is probably his best known character over the course of his career. But that really gave me what I needed by the end of this film. I didn't need to be in that theater for 3 hours in a non-recliner chair, in case I haven't brought that up. But the highs were really high. The lows were actually probably as low as it gets in this franchise. There were just some stylistic choices with flashbacks to previous films and then throwing in these characters and some extra dialogue that I don't know we needed. So the lows probably as low as it gets in the Mission Impossible franchise, but the highs that you're going to see and experience in this film are as high as anything you'll get in Mission Impossible lore. So the more I think about it, the more I'm conflicted about this movie. If you are going to see it, though, you got to see this in the theater. Do not wait till it gets to your streaming platform, because I just don't think you're going to enjoy it as much. If you can, if you want, see it while it's in theaters. Mission Impossible overall a win for me, but not a perfect movie. Brad, I don't know if anything's going to top Sinners for me this year.
No, I don't know.
I'm comparing everything in my mind to how I felt leaving Sinners,
that's fair.
which is probably unfair to Mr. Kip Up Tom Cruise. Good movie, great cast.
Kip Up is
It's just too long, dog. This is like an AEW pay-per-view, the equivalent. It just doesn't need to be that long.
3 hours doesn't faze me at all.
Really?
Not at all. No, I do musicals for
In a non-recliner
I feel like
chair.
I'll say it again. I have to do musicals. So
Yeah,
no.
that's a good point of reference.
No.
It's a good
No, I
movie,
know.
but see it in the theater. Do not.
Yeah,
wait
of
till
course.
till it gets home.
As a fan of the Lord of the Rings extended editions, I'm going to go ahead and say 4 hours doesn't faze me. I don't think 3 is going to be a problem.
You've been about this life.
Also, 4 hours, yeah, I'm taking breaks. Like, that's a long time. And I saw it already, so there's no stakes. So, yeah.
And the
4 hours
cast,
is a lot.
and I know you can relate to this with LOTR. The cast really makes a difference. If you have an all-star cast, to me, that can wipe away some of the aspects of the film that I don't enjoy. So Mission Impossible, I know I read you some of the names. That's just a taste of who's in this film. There are so many amazing, talented folks in this movie that I think I also sometimes kind of leave with my blinders still on. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I love everyone who was in here. They did their thing, and to me, that makes a movie worth going to see, even if it wasn't flawless, if you will.
Of course. Yeah, I'm excited to see it. I'm hoping that we can get there maybe this week, but we're gonna need to plan that out. I was gonna take Freya until I saw that it was 3 hours.
Freya knows. Thank you, Freya.
Well, that it would just be way too. Thunderbolts is too long. She likes Mission Impossible. As long as it's rated PG-13, she'll be fine unless it's a horror movie.
Oh yeah, yeah. And this one for sure. Length aside, content wise, yeah, she would be good. There's just some plot and some. That last Mission Impossible was excellent, and this
it was incredible.
It was incredible.
Dead Reckoning is so good.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Dead Reckoning was amazing, and okay, last part while I'm here. The series has been so well done by and large that when you go into a Mission Impossible,
I don't want to talk about 2.
Okay, 2 aside. When you go into a Mission Impossible movie, as a viewer who's seen most, if not all of these, my expectations are so high. It's kind of like wrestling, right? When we go in with certain expectations and then they're just not met, that my feelings leaving the film may be different than someone who is just watching this for the first time and maybe hasn't studied the franchise like I have. That last one, Brad, Dead Reckoning?
Dead Reckoning is one of the best films of the year.
Was art.
Yeah.
This film, again, the stunts that you'll see, as great as Dead Reckoning, but plot wise, I don't think you'll be nearly as satisfied as you were, because it's just flat at times, and it really for me took 45 plus minutes before I was really locked in to Final Reckoning. Dead Reckoning, I was there the whole time.
I might be going to watch. We have Paramount Plus. I might be firing that off later tonight and just staying up all night, just staring at the screen. I love I think it's 3 with Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yes, best villain of the franchise.
By far, he's so good.
Yeah, he popped. And then they cut back to some of Philip Seymour Hoffman's scenes in the franchise.
And then 4 or 5, I don't know which one, the one that's in Russia and Dubai, where he's climbing the outside of the building. Yeah, I awesome. Love that one.
Yeah,
that's the chase through the sandstorm. Like all of that is just so much fun.
Yeah,
it's so good.
It's great. It's one of the best action franchises of all time.
But I also have a lot of fond memories of going to see in the theater the first one, and being old enough, I guess. Sorry, Tyler. You were what, like probably like 7.
Yeah, but again, 7, you missed 8. The affliction tea, so you win some.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Yeah, but like every time I dropped the jackknife anywhere, I thought about that movie, just like the knife falling down the shaft and landing in the desk.
It's a great franchise, and I'm starting to come to grips with. There's a lot of things in my life that are starting to wrap up, whether it be on the entertainment side of things, performers, franchises. Brad, you know how it goes. Businesses, particularly in this landscape that we're in, shut down. So I still have a lot of affinity for Mission Impossible. I think this
because we have Tom Cruise, movie star. We don't have a lot of movie stars anymore.
No, yeah, and I think he's the last of a certain movie star. I really respect his dedication to this craft. I just had really high expectations for Final Reckoning. I don't think they were met, but again, I still think you and our audience would enjoy the film, particularly if you're able to get to your local theater and check it out, because Tom Cruise does Tom Cruise, and his castmates are super talented and really good in this one. The plot just doesn't do him justice.
Well, you know what? Going 10 minutes on this sure seemed good when we were running long. Let's talk AEW.
We must. Okay. In case folks haven't heard, in case you're not following us on social, you need to do that right now at GIPod19. But if you are, you may have seen that we were at AEW Double or Nothing.
Yes, we were.
The company made its Arizona pay-per-view debut. And Brad, I don't know about you now that you've had time to marinate on it. I had an amazing time.
Still haven't come down from it. Like, it was incredible.
It was incredible. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to get right to it here. Less preamble. Two-part question. What stood out to you most from the AEW Double or Nothing live experience? And now that Mercedes Moné versus Toni Storm is officially official for All in Texas next month, is it fair to say that, surprisingly, Mercedes is the underdog heading into this match?
No, I don't think it's surprising at all. Mercedes wanted to go to Japan to work Japan's style and wrestle Japanese wrestlers, and she did, right? She had her Stardom run. That's what Toni came out of. I don't think it's that timeless Toni in AEW. There's people that are watching AEW that are like, oh, this is the person that used to be Sasha Banks. like having never seen Sasha Banks because, AEW is the only place that they watch, or TNA or whatever, the non WWE things. We know plenty of people that are like this, right? Couldn't be me. I like having the main feed and the best wrestling feed all at the same time. Like AEW in ring wise, I walked away with a few things. Number one, how beautiful and how intimidating Marina Shafir is in real life. And number two, how tall she was when I accidentally almost walked into her on the way to the bathroom.
Let's hear the story.
We were all heading out, right? Like to go to the bathroom, and George Romero was with us, previous and future GI guest George Romero. We were walking up the stairs, as was Mike. Shout out to Mike. And George, he saw it, I think, right away because he's 9 feet tall, and turned left to go to the bathroom. I didn't see it. I was staring at the AEW guy with the shirt and his ClearCom headset on. And I was going, oh, that looks like a free speak too. That's the same system that we use. That's really cool. I was trying to get a better look, not realizing I was hurtling toward Marina Shafir in her MMA hair and the sports bra. She looked like she was getting ready to go fight, and do a proper MMA fight. And I was like, wow, she's not that tall, but her presence is 11 feet tall. And she just looked like she knew how to just beat me to death immediately. And I was like, I'm gonna go this way real quick and get around. And then some lady from the Desert Diamond Arena was doing this thing to us. It's like, keep it moving, kids, keep it moving. And I was like, what are you going to do to stop this? You have no shot of slowing this down. But we were going past it. And what I remember is going, oh, that's Marina Shafir. And then I just kept going to the bathroom. But George stopped and looked back, and I went, I know, keep going. That's all I remember of what happened. I was like, I had to pee, and I don't want to miss Marina. This is going to rule. I thought Anarchy in the Arena would be later on. So we were like, well, if we miss the start of this, it's going to be all entrances all the time. So not a big deal if we miss the beginning of the next match. Because we thought, what did we think was coming up?
We thought
the 6-man or the...
We totally fumbled this. Yeah, we thought that the 6-man tag was going to be next. Don Callis fam versus Paragon.
And I was like, it's going to take forever to get people in there. Yeah. Whatever. We won't miss any of the action, but we don't want to miss the beginning of Anarchy in the Arena because we never know how it's going to go.
Yeah.
Plus Justin Roberts.
And then
you came back with chips, missed the whole beginning.
Yeah, I was taking my sweet time. I was getting the chips. I was getting the Gatorade, and then I hear top rope, catch a vibe. I said, yes. Oh my gosh.
You missed the Predator entrance and everything.
Entrance. Yeah. I played myself.
Yeah, it was incredible. Anarchy in the Arena, far and away my favorite live experience. It's not even close.
Easily.
Were
you ready for Let the Bodies Hit the Floor?
No, nobody
was
ready
for
that was amazing.
2003?
That was incredible.
2002?
Because it was already I'm So Excited was playing, and people were pretty hyped about that.
Yeah, and then, that was a great.
I was like, "This is a good vibe. This is a good vibe."
A great moment. If you know, you know.
Yeah, a callback, right? And then it was, okay, that's great, but it's not really the vibe we're going for.
Yeah.
If you know the music, sing that, and then
the place erupted, man.
The place went
great song choice. That could have easily not worked out well, but the audience.
I was scared.
Yeah,
I was scared that we were going to have a mosh pit going on, and that people were going to get out of control. But to the audience's credit, everybody just jumped around in their seats and had a blast, and it got crazy. It was so loud.
I don't know how it was on TV, but
watching the clips, it did not touch what happened in that building. The energy was insane.
I'm getting chills thinking about it.
Yes, I immediately got my camera out because I was like, "This is going to be crazy."
Yeah, you got the footage of the Kenny Omega moonsault on the other side of the arena.
Yes, I love that he points out when it says "Let the Bodies Hit the Floor" when he screams it, and he's just and then turns around, grabs Hobbs, hobbles up onto the thing, and jumps off.
And then
crazy.
I think why I'm glowing about this match, of course, was being there with you guys and being able to have that experience. It was also how Willow Nightingale was used in this.
Yes.
To perfection. I didn't realize all I wanted in my life this summer, Brad, was to watch Willow slam around some dudes. And then she reveals the big black and Jack. shirt to
good.
match Hobbs.
That was
And
such a big pop in the arena.
yes, and I just said, "Oh wow!" So not only are the Death Riders going to lose this match, which is what we all needed, but the way that Willow was treated, not and Marina as well. To your point, the furthest thing from an afterthought, front and center,
Yeah.
assist swerve with the Meltzer driver, the
Yes.
TK driver,
Counter it because she was
and
going to get it.
pounces, spine busters. I'm like, oh man.
It was so good.
So I'm getting to watch my favorite wrestler in AEW in such a huge spot with some of my favorite people, and the audience was there for it. And it was just, to your point, thinking about live experiences we've had, there's just no topping Anarchy. It was an incredible live experience.
The laughing and the grimacing with all the staple spots.
Yes.
Watching Claudio get it in the head, just. And then I can't remember if it was Matt or Nick. I think it was Nick. Nuts is right. Getting hit in the nuts as a counter after getting knocked down was so funny. But the way he took out Yuta by him barely moving and just going, duh, and just like nonchalantly hitting him with the stapler.
The humor spots were so well planned.
They needed
and
to be
so
there.
well executed. And okay. Oh. Okay, this is honestly something I love just as much as Willow.
Incredibly well booked.
The Founding Fathers entrance.
Oh my gosh, that was so good.
The gear, it just worked so well for me. It was really well planned that you had the violence of Anarchy, but again, you had those, and you, given your acting background, Brad, of course it would speak to you. You had these well thought out humor comedy moments that were also at times brutal, but also just super funny. And to me, I knew it was going to be good when we got the Founding Fathers gear and they wrestled the entire match in it. They used the flag as a weapon, because I thought eventually they were going to take it off and have the pants, but take off the top. But no, they just stayed with the Benjamin Franklin look the whole time, and I loved it. I was here for it.
It was great. We got it. I had no idea the exploding table was happening.
The exploding table.
It had a bit of everything, but it was paced out in a way that was like, okay, now we're going to have this thing, and now we're going to try this thing, and we're going to switch it up over here, instead of like a mess or all one note. Because if it's just violence for the whole thing, it's not a good time. We were talking about the Anarchy in the arena with Urban Meyer not that long ago, and it was like when Jericho like hit MJF with TV, and he's like, "Oh shit!" and it's coming from an NFL coach. Like, that was so good in that spot. That made me laugh so hard when it happened. It became kind of like a highlight for that whole match. I thought that was so much fun. Bodies getting played over the. I can't glow enough about how fun that live experience was. And then to get Will and Hanger, and to open with Mercedes and Jamie, like every match on that card hit for me, including the ones I thought were like, I don't really need this. Because I was like, okay, Mark Briscoe, Ricochet, is this even going to be any good? It was great. That was so good. Ricochet standing on the stretcher up on the ramp, just all of it was so good. And then to have Briscoe just be like, no, I'm not going to shower. I'm just going to let this blood dry all over my body and come out 5 hours later. Yeah, that was crazy. I imagine that was a stinky locker room, but it was awesome, man.
Even the buy-in was dope.
Yeah,
Penelope and Megan versus Anna Jay.
Their entrance was so good.
Yeah,
that match was a ton of fun.
8-man we got. Yeah, it was really. And again, I would love to hear from our audience. Leave us a comment on YouTube. Hit us up on social media if you're listening. Would love to know how the experience was for you watching it at home, because I think particularly for this show, Brad, the live experience really contributed to our enjoyment of this. And I want to say you even sent that to me via text of, I don't know how everything would have translated if I were sitting at home watching this, but live wise, it hit, man. Even Toni Storm versus Mina Shirakawa. I was going to say Marina Shirakawa, not her name. Mina Shirakawa. We had the 50
a lot of name problems.
Yeah, we had we had the 50-50 chance in the audience, and it was like that for many of the matches on the card.
90% of them were you and George in the middle. Just getting bludgeoned by whatever was coming out of your.
We had that's funny. We had a great time, and wow, the Arizona pay-per-view debut. WWE, now we need you to come to Arizona for a pay-per-view. We need this. It must happen. I had a great time, Brad, and I was so grateful that I got to spend it with you and and the guys, man. It was a successful venture. But you think Mercedes being the underdog, not shocking at all. The undefeated Mercedes Moné. She's about to lose to Toni Storm in Texas, is she not?
Yeah, that'll be her first loss, I think. I think it's the best thing to do. And they'll have a classic, I think.
Toni Storm is so over right now. It's incredible.
Most
overact on the roster.
2 other takeaways from the evening. Toni Storm, amazing. That match was fun. That was probably the most unnecessary, even though it was earned and all that, and it's part of the storyline. I get it. I thought that was a ton of fun. That's not one of my takeaways. Two of them. One, seen the quad box, the witching hour NFL red zone box pop up for Anarchy on the screen. It was hard in the arena to follow like action, because you're like, all right, Samoa Joe is 400 yards to my left. And then there's people on the stage ramp and there's people there. But way in the back on the other side, on the hard cam side, I see Claudio doing something. But Hobbs and Mox are down in our aisle at the end. And crap, I bumped cinematic mode, so I'm trying to film this and it keeps going out of focus. But the guy in front of me has a very clear cell phone, like really annoying. But I was just like, it was an ADD nightmare trying to keep track of things. But when I watched the quad box, it didn't capture the arena, because what I thought was super cool was when Body started playing, it wasn't just that people were singing. There was just this ambient hum in the arena. Like this, everybody was talking or going like, this is crazy. This is awesome. Look at that. Everybody became super engaged. And I thought that was just like the coolest communal experience. It was also the only time of the night the gigantic drunk douchebags around us weren't saying vile crap. So that there's that. That was the other takeaway.
Why is that always maybe too strong of a word, but that's such a thing. And maybe it's at most live events, especially sports.
2 out of 3 for us.
It's just
or 3 out of 4, I guess. 3 out of 4. 2 out of 4.
And there were,
2 out of 4,
Brad, there were children in the vicinity. I remember during this is one of my
kids
favorite
sitting
parts.
right in front.
Yeah, during the Ricochet Mark Briscoe stretcher match, I specifically remember hearing a kid, I think it may have been a boy, a few rows behind us say, "Oh, Dad, he's leaking." This is as Mark Briscoe was just dripping blood,
gushing blood,
which is one of my favorite quotes ever from attending a live wrestling event.
Yeah.
But when those guys, douchebags, if you will, when they were saying, I don't even remember some of the quotes, but it was just like, yo, there are children here, there's women here. I mean, it's not proper regardless, it's not okay. But what about knowing your audience and knowing who you're with? But you and I saw, this is what I told you when we were both looking at each other disgusted. People popped for it that we were sitting near.
Yeah.
That's why they do it, because they get a reaction and they know that
every wrestling event
it's like that kid in class. You do it for the attention, not
every wrestling event we have been to. There has been grab his dick and twist it guy, quoting that video at every single one. Somebody forgot about that video and heard that now for the first time. The dude behind me laughed at it every time, 15 times. He said, "Grab your dick and twist it." That's what they do. It's like, wow, they said it before too, and it wasn't funny then. Just shut up and stop whistling and catcalling and yelling stuff about the girl's ass.
The whistle, the whistles at Arcady.
Real weird, man. Weird behavior.
It's just it. Yeah, it's disappointing. And to your point, I was concerned about it because it was happening really early on in the night, and I just thought, Lord, please let these people be better. And then luckily, I would say, as we got on later in the card, whether it was fatigue or whether it was the anarchy in the arena, it seemed like by those last, I would say maybe 3-4 or so matches, I wasn't thinking about it as much. But Brad, frankly, that's something I worry about when we go to live events, because we're spending so much money. Yay for record gates, because we're spending so much money on these shows. I just don't want to be around that. I don't want to be around.
I agree.
Misogyny, transphobia, like, can that be a part of the ticket where, and I told you, I was like, Brad, don't they, like, security, like, there are a few rows behind us. They are totally hearing this as well.
Yeah, but that security guy that we walked past got his ARP card 30 years ago. Like, that guy's not doing anything. So he probably can't even hear what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to age shame here, but like Grandpa Graff can't be the security. Like, it just can't. So I don't know what the answer is there, but like,
I'm more upset at the people who
homeboy behind us that sounded like Beavis.
Yeah.
the dude in the yellow shirt, just like the whole time he's yelling like this at the crew, and he's like, and it was just like, this can't be a real person. This can't be.
Yeah.
Or is that Butthead? I can't remember. All I know is that guy got quiet when I think the booze got him sleepy, and it like activated the white dude with truck rage and the two guys in front of us who were full throated, vein right in the face, vein in the forehead. F the UK.
Yeah.
F England. F the Brits.
And to humanity's credit, I saw other people in our area who were looking at this dude like, that's a weird thing to.
People were like, no,
F the UK,
like just going,
F the Brits. Like there were even people who said, okay, now we actually look at somebody, which is ridiculous that it took that long. But yeah, there was that guy. It was just you go, and again, I'm positive this isn't just for AEW. I think it's wrestling. I think it's sports in general.
Sure.
You just run into these characters, but I think particularly with wrestling,
it's
really it's one of my favorite and one of my least favorite parts of being a wrestling fan is that it really does bring out such an eclectic crowd. But then at times it's eclectic in the sense of you have people who would never do this or say this if they were in close proximity of these performers. But for whatever reason, when you're in section 100B and you got your Miller Lite, you feel compelled to just pop off. And again, I get more upset, not just at the people doing it, but at the people who are laughing about it. It's like, yo, this is why they're doing it. If you don't pay them attention, I think they would be far less likely to, if you don't encourage them with your laughter, I think it would be far less likely that we would have these schmucks show up at these events because they at times have ruined my enjoyment of the product.
Yeah, same.
Get these putts out of here. This is ridiculous. This is 2025. What are you doing?
My favorite. Okay, so the last thing. But
overall,
finally getting.
But overall, a W. Great experience.
Hugely. The anarchy in the arena. My favorite part of anarchy was the anarchy on a phone. Watching your dad try to gobble up the Knicks game during bodies, trying to watch it on his phone, like sitting there, like, and it's just nuts everywhere.
That's Pops. Pops is there.
He's like, well, they might pull it off.
He's a proud New Yorker.
It was amazing.
This was when we still had hope that the Knicks were going to make that finals run.
Yeah.
You are completely accurate. Yeah, anarchy in the arena, which he did enjoy. But he said, yo, I'm gonna
it was so good.
One way or another, I'm gonna because he was checking the score updates.
Yes.
And then when it was going down,
he's like, oh crap, we're getting close.
When it was going down to the wire, he said, I can multitask. I can watch this Knicks game and also.
It was perfect. It was one of my favorite moments of the entire evening.
I'm glad.
He's like, this is great, and it's an all-timer, and also this is too. And I just thought it was wonderful. I'll make it brief. Fyter Fest is happening, Tyler, on Wednesday. It is going to be a 4-hour non-pay-per-view event, but it's pay-per-view length on TV. Tyler, what does AEW need to do in order for this to be a successful event compared to things like Battle of the Belts?
Sure. I'm concerned looking at the card. Okay, so the most noteworthy match arguably on the show is going to be the International 4-Way. Kenny Omega defending the title against Mascara Dorada, Brody King, and Claudio Castagnoli. We know who's winning this match. The grab should be tremendous. Then you have some other solid matches on this card. I am excited for the women's tag. You got Toni and Mina tagging against Sky Blue and Julia Hart. I actually hope the latter get a victory. I think they're top contenders to be the inaugural women's tag champs, if we get that, which I fully believe we will this year based on the depth of the division, which we saw in person at the aforementioned buy-in. But I'm concerned about this because I thought Fyter Fest would feel like a bigger deal. I thought we'd get more title matches on there, and we very well might by the time Wednesday rolls around. But just looking at the card by itself, 4 hours is very ambitious. And obviously, it's usually what they do. They have 2-hour Dynamite, then the 2-hour Collision taping. But I'm just really curious to see how that Denver crowd is going to hold up, particularly if the card is lacking. Like you, Brad, I'm super excited for the Toxic Spider Tekla's in-ring debut. I think we'll also get a Chris Statlander. Yeah, I think we'll also get a Chris Statlander appearance. But
do you think that's her opponent? Is it Stat? Because it's TBD for.
Yeah, it is TBD.
Yeah.
If this
I
were a
hope it's
regular,
not like local squash.
yeah, for sure. If this were a regular Dynamite, I would say no. I don't believe it's going to be Chris Stat, but because this is a bigger event, I could see it. I don't think it's going to be Chris Stat, but I wouldn't be shocked if it were. I am concerned because I thought this card would be more fruitful. I thought we'd get more title matches on it. To me, it just feels like a really strong Dynamite as of this recording. So yeah, but they also have the Arena Mexico show coming up in a few. It's
Yeah.
kind of like
They're
WWE, right?
yeah,
You
they're
have All
definitely
In
hyping
next
that
month.
up, right? Like that's
Yeah,
the reason it's booked like
you
this.
got Forbidden Door around the corner. So there's a lot going on right now.
That 6-man tag is gonna hump
Yes,
though.
it is.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, it is. Fighter Fest, cautiously optimistic. Maybe there will be some surprises that aren't announced
So.
that we get in terms of fan
Ron
service.
Killings.
Yeah, our true talk about it. So card wise, I thought we'd be at a better place, but I think by the time that show ends, we'll not only be impressed with the grabs, but hopefully, because this card needs it, Brad, hopefully get some fan service surprises.
I hope so. I agree with you completely. I have nothing to add. Tyler, for the sake of time, we'll roll right into it. And feel like every time I do this, I say it's been a really long time. I have no idea how long it's been. It probably hasn't been that long, but it's time for someday when you have kids. Hit the music.
And now it's time for
Someday.
Someday When You Have Kids.
Someday I can have kids.
Okay, Tyler already kind of talked about this. Dance week. We had show week this week. We went in starting Wednesday. I believe it was Wednesday. Was it Wednesday? Thursday? One of the days. Man, I'm drawing a blank. Yesterday we had the show. Maybe it was Friday. I think it might have been Friday. We had to go get pictures taken. So went to Mountain View High School and waited in the kind of the lobby to the auditorium area. Whole bunch of dance moms there. It's kind of hanging out. Kids waiting to go in and take their pictures. They've been doing pictures all day. And it's their kids in their dance uniforms or outfits and with their groups. So individual and group photo. Really, really cool stuff. And then they went up there and got to dance on the stage. They ran through it. I don't know if all the groups did that, but I think it was to get the young ones familiar with the space because they've never been on that stage. And anyway, it was really, really cool. What I noticed pretty notably when I walked in there for pictures was how many guys there weren't. I was the only dude, I believe, in the entire building for the first half an hour of this sit around and wait for your kid. And by the way, it's going to take 20 minutes longer than you thought before she gets to go in there while she's like itchy as all hell in this costume. So someday, Tyler, when you have kids, you are going to be in a situation where you have to make choices. So I want to be a supportive dad. I want to be a supportive, teammate as well, not just to Jess and to Freya, but to the dance troupe. Like if the entire troupe goes out and does a show, I gotta stay. I gotta support. Doing it 2 nights in a row for an at least 3-hour event to watch people I don't know and have no vested interest in has to be like inviting your out of town friend to go watch minor league baseball with you, because they're not going to know anything about the team. I think it'd be like, Tyler, when you come down, we're going to go to Australian rules football. And you would go, like it would be a good time with people, but go solo. And that's what it'd be like. I'm
full novice mode.
Yes, but I'm going to go out on the field and I'm going to high five somebody and then I'm going to leave. And that's the only thing I'm doing. The rest of the time there, you came there to support me, high five dipped, first 5 minutes. And now you have the next 4 hours to watch the game. I will not be coming back. That's sort of like what the dance event is like. Now, luckily I have a whole bunch of people that were there that I wanted to see and I really enjoyed it. They put on a great show and stuff, but I was just thinking like, yeah, this is 2 nights of stuff. I'm not a dancer, but I like performances and I like a lot of the talent. And what I could tell you is that even though I went there early to try to help out with tech and I watched a whole separate several hour performance that I had no stake in whatsoever. That was only for a specific small group of people for their individual acts and duet stuff. All of it was worth it. When the lights came up and Freya was on stage, I have never seen her smile that big in my life. She looked beautiful. She looked like she was having a blast. She did such a good job. Absolutely incredible. Totally worth it. I'm now a dance dad. I will be there. I will be showing up. I'm not going to be anything like some of the people that were there. Like, dance moms, get it together. Okay. It is not that serious. Stop it. Just stop. Like, take a breath. Okay, there. Did you take one? Okay, now go apologize to your child. Hug them. Tell them you love them and that you're proud of them. That's important. You are proud of them. Even if they skunked it up tonight, you're proud of them. That's important too. Relax. It's dance. It's not cancer surgery. Absolutely wild behavior by some of these parents, these adults. I don't get it. I never will. If she's having fun, I'm having fun. If she's not having fun, pull it. Time to stop. We've said that often to each other about a variety of different things. I just hope that you get to experience the kind of joy that you get to see on your kid's face, especially in moments where you're like, man, why am I here for so long? It's not that long. It's just a little part of your day, and it's worth every second. So I hope you experience that someday when you have kids.
That's beautiful. That's a healthy mindset. I am feeling regret because I should have prepared you for that showbiz dance life. I did not have the experience as a parent, but as a supportive partner, I've seen it. I've been there.
I think
I'm excited that you get to experience this now.
I think for me, it's because we did the dance team show with a bunch of local area people coming in to destroy our dressing rooms. And then we did the dance class show, which was a week or two after that.
It's different, right?
And then a week or two after that, my kids' dance show, 2 days in a row. Tyler, in the last month, I have done 4 dance shows, totaling, I'm trying to do the math really quick, at least 8 hours in the last 2 days of just performance.
A dance dad life.
And probably not double that. I'm going to say like 5 more after that. I'm pretty sure Amy just like, yeah, let's crank them out. Let's get them out of here. And it was awesome. She did such a good job. The logistics, the planning, the making it look good, all of that, unbelievable amount of work that goes into these things. So I appreciate everybody behind the scenes because I know what that life looks like. Tyler, what did we miss this week?
We missed 3 items. So first,
I guess
TNA, 2 weeks, right? TNA Against All Odds is this Friday at ASU's Mullet Arena in Tempe. So please follow us on social media for live coverage. I will be there. I'm very excited, Brad. It is TNA's first show in Arizona in 13 years.
Man, I do want to go. I really want to go, but it's just being away. I don't think it's going to go over very well.
You needed to be here for Double or Nothing. We made it happen.
Yes.
I'm proud of us. I'm going to be in Tempe for Against All Odds. Again, follow the accounts for live coverage. Or if you're not on social media, totally respect that. Just make sure you are here listening or watching this episode next week because I will share my live experience checking out that show. Very excited, very optimistic. 2 other items for you, Brad, and for our audience. New words. Check out gimmickinfringementpod.com. There's a new piece on there entitled The Arrival Fallacy. I think all of my years being friends with Brad, I've grown an interest in psychology. And thus, recently I learned about this idea of the arrival fallacy, that if you arrive at accomplishing a certain goal or getting a certain thing in your life, that's going to give you all the fulfillment you could have wanted, and then you're going to be set. When in reality, that's not how it goes. There's actually 5 types of wealth. I get into all that. I share about my own reflection on where I'm at and the goals I've reached, the mistakes I've learned from. I have a picture of myself as a child there. Brad, you said it was giving young Ricky Saints.
Yes, it was.
Pose back when I was trying to be a child model. This is true. So anyway, check out the piece. Check out the site as well. Again, gimmickinfringementpod.com. Brad continues to do an amazing job showcasing that site, putting us over, putting over our teammates on 19 Media Group. The Arrival Fallacy, would love to know what you think. And then finally, Brad, just some quick teases for our audience. We are expecting this to be the summer of GI. Please stay tuned with us this summer. We are going to be inviting guests, including some familiar faces, to talk about so much, especially outside of pro wrestling. We are going to have our summer film. We're going to work on the title. Summer film, summer blockbuster preview.
Blockbuster last year. It went really well.
Coming up this month. Stay tuned for that. We are also going to get into the WNBA season here in a few weeks, probably closer to early to mid-July. We're going to be welcoming back Desmond Powell for that conversation about the W. Again, for the summer film preview, we're going to welcome back Emily Olero-Jones.
Can't wait.
Yes. Yeah. I can't wait. She is amazing. And we have movies to talk about. We went 10 minutes on Mission Impossible, Brad. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to talk about like 12 to 18.
We're getting both weeks shows in today.
We're doing the most. We are doing the most. Shout out to Emily, a female driven. Shout out to Desmond of Hip to the Games. Brad, shout out to you, because that is the end of my What Did We Miss list. I'm going to pass it back to you, my friend. What you got for us?
Ooh, we missed the first week of summer. I had a birthday in between there. I forgot about that.
We did
that also happened there. Yeah.
How's it treating you? Can we reveal the age?
43 feels good. Well, it literally doesn't feel good. Like my shoulder hurts, back is a little stiff. I saw them. This is a shoot. I was in the. I had an itch on my foot, and I remember seeing the kids do like this dance pose thing with their hand in their foot and like stick their leg out.
Is that a TikTok? Is that a TikTok thing?
Oh no, this is a showbiz thing. So I was
showbiz.
Oh yeah. I was like, can I even grab my toe?
They didn't do that
like,
when I was there. Okay.
Oh, they I'm sure they did. They just do this and then like the leg goes all the way up. I was like, I have no chance of doing that, obviously.
I love your attempt right there. YouTube, check us out, 19 Media Group YouTube page.
It wasn't going to happen. But I was like, can I even stand up? I'm sitting down. I can do this. Can I grab my toe while standing and not fall to my death? And then can I extend it at all? Can I even make my leg go straight? The answer is no, I cannot. Because you missed that. I also repaired my car this week. I replaced 2 door locks and 2 window regulators. I'm proud of it. My hand is chopped up on this side. I had blood all over my shirt. My watch is covering most of the scratches from sticking my hand into the like exposed metal door where they don't like sand off the edges. Why would they? The last time I had something like this, it was because Winnie had chewed off her fingernails. Like she like chews her nails. We've never clipped her nails once. Winnie I'll do it. Just bites them off. Best dog ever. Except she's not smoothing them out afterward. So she's got these like little knives at the end of her feet. And when she wants you to play, she'll paw at you. And she like scratched the crap out of my arm. Tyler, I went to work and 2 people stopped me in the hallway and asked if I was okay, which was really cool that my colleagues were checking on me, but they thought something really bad had happened.
Yeah. Like, oh yeah, I started bumping. I went over to, went over to wrestling school.
I was like, no, my dog. So I'm glad that these ended up being under my watch for the most part, because I did not want to have that conversation again, because I was at the school a lot last week too. Absolutely crazy stuff happened. None of it important to anybody but me. That's it.
That's okay. I love that for you. And I love the convenient placement of your scars.
Oh, it worked out. It's
That's
not
good.
Healing great because it's under a rubber watch band. But
That's rough.
Yeah.
And you know how it is at school. I don't know about other occupations, but people are always observing at school. Kids, adults, they want to know what's going on. They want to be in your business, not always nefariously.
No.
But it makes sense that
nosy.
Makes sense that you'd be getting those questions. Brad, we're back. What an episode this was. I don't know what to say. This was one of them ones. A lot to think about. You met my ex, man. That's
Showbiz.
something
Yeah.
that happened.
That's showbiz, maybe.
You're a dance dad now. We got Fyter Fest this week. We want to know what you all think about Mission Impossible. We got a new Someday When You Have Kids. Huge WWE weekend. There is a lot happening. We are so thankful that you joined us for this conversation. Once again, if you have not already, please follow us at GIPod19 for exclusive show updates and more. We love YouTube comments. We love 5-star reviews on your audio platform or platforms of choice. And once again, we will hope that you join us next week. Gimmick Infringement is a part of 19 Media Group. You can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube via the 19 Media Group channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.